exciting times are upon us. So this is an energy update from me, as always, keeping you in the loop of what's going on my end, which may be a divine reflection of what's going on in your end, usually, probably. So I'm going to dive right into this one. So over the weekend, we had February the 11th, which was the gateway portal opening us up to February the 22nd. February the 11th was my birthday. The 22nd is my wedding anniversary. So you can imagine things are popping off my end. Now, let's just rewind a little bit. I want to talk very briefly about the solar flares that came in like an absolute freight train. We've been so calm and chilled, and then all of a sudden Friday afternoon, it just exploded. And what you would have found that would have happened is like deep-seated stuff, kind of like a flash explosion of emotion of stuff that needed to be shifted, right? You know, from my end, it was very much to do with me and my daughter. I felt a very, very powerful energy and frequency of the divine feminine, meaning, Isis came through very strong for me. And for me, that was, I mean, you might find another goddess that kind of was very close to you at that time. You know, Sekhmet was holding space for me, but it was Isis that stepped in, and she was actually running the energy and frequency through my family line of feminine all the way through to me and my daughter. Don't need to go into the details, just that it was all about being unloved, overlooked, not important, kind of neglected, abandoned, that kind of thing, really. So all of that was basically exploded on Friday afternoon for me in my family lineage. Okay. So from my feminine line, as I say, all the way into my daughter. So that was very painful because there's a lot of inner child stuff, which effectively all the work that we do is inner child. All came up. It came up very, very strong. So there's still a little bit of work to do there. Well, it's not work. I think it's just acknowledgement. I've used this in my videos ever such a lot that really right now, awareness and acknowledgement is all that we should be focusing on, because we're doing less. There's nothing to go out there and do. It's just about allowing and acknowledging that what is really going down is going down. And when we have that awareness and acknowledgement, we can just allow it to run through you. As I've spoken about in previous videos, about opening your energy field maximally to be aware, and then that kind of opens up the portal for you to release these repressed emotions, because that's effectively what this is all about. So if they're repressed, they're going to prevent you from coming into that full unconditional love state, which is now bringing me into kind of like the twin flame frequency. So I mean, like, this is like twin flame is up front and center. That's now moves me beautifully into the next stage, because we can't come into union if there is still remnants of the divine feminine and inner child still vibrating at a point where there's distortion. So I feel that these solar flares came through to blast the blocks of any last little bits and pieces that needed to come home. And I think that we're so aware at this stage of the game that awareness and acknowledgement should be pretty easy, just to allow it to come home. So then, as we move through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So today's Wednesday, like all those prior days, it was really intense. And for me, I felt a big shift in my acknowledgement of self, because I moved through these powerful purges a lot more swiftly than I have done previously. So you might find when this is happening with you, to you, through you, you are actually moving through it with a lot more empowered kind of like energy. Like you're like, yep, I know what's going on. You're really working with the hermetic principles now, which is knowing how to get in the game, get out the game, duck, jump, move, lie still, be fast. Do you know what I mean? So we're getting good at it now. We're remembering. So that's a good thing. So now I'm moving into the twin flame frequency and the understanding of this. Several months ago, we had very, very powerful messages, lots of other channels apart from myself, all speaking about how the union was coming into play energetically. And at that time, beyond this big screen here, I looked straight onto the forest, and I've got this huge oak tree, beautiful trees in my garden, and there was a male and a female hawk that were building a nest, and I was like, and this was at the time of the union energy, and I was like, wow, this is really happening. So for me, nature always reflects what's going on, obviously. And they had babies, and they were building a nest together, and she was making house, and the hawk was going off and hunting. And I just thought, well, that's co-creation in its finest. So I thought, wow, it's really happening, but it's only going to be felt on a physical level in some months ahead. This is now some months ahead. So I have been working with a lot of my Heka Codes clients, a lot of the same flame frequency, all to do with twin flames, okay? Some are in union, physical union, and they're kind of like coming together now. Some have been through quite a twin flame experience and kind of still like solitary, but they're healing their wounds as a result of the twin flame shadow, let's say. Because ultimately, whether you have a sacred other or not, it matters not, because you are your twin flame. So you are coming into union. Your divine masculine is now coming in to join your divine feminine. But you see, the divine masculine can't get busy and come in until the divine feminine has cleared up those last little bits of distortion, because otherwise it's grating, even within. Now, I am married to my twin flame. So yeah, it's been a little bit testy over the last few days, but it's because everything's coming into alignment now. And as I say, in my physical union, it's like, yeah, we're straightening it up now. You know what I mean? And that union is actually happening. So I've got my list here because there's been so much going on. So the twin flames are in union, but like, I want to go more into, because I don't like to bring too much focus on the fact that to be in union, you have to have a sacred other, because that's actually not true. Because at the end of the day, a lot of us, which is all of us that do hold the twin flame frequency, by the time we balance that up and we've come into union, some choose not to actually have a sacred other. Why? Because they're so balanced inside. There is no need or want or holding on to have that sacred other. But some of us choose it to be so. Like me, I've chosen to have a husband. I've chosen to be in divine union in a physical form, and that works for me. But don't get it twisted. It doesn't mean that that's how it has to be. The union is always within, and divine masculines will reflect back to you what needs to come into alignment. So talking about that now, I'm moving into Horus. I'm moving fast today because there's a lot going on, because I've got a whole list of divine masculine Egyptian gods that have been coming in. Horus, I've already spoken about. He has come through in all of my sessions, in all of my meditations, and he is showing us the divine balance through his left eye of Horus and his right eye of Ra. Okay, so the left eye is lunar, the right eye is the sun. And that activation that I spoke of the other day comes through and activates the left side, the lunar side, and the right side, which is feminine. And then the right side is the sun, the masculine side. And we've got this going on. And then the other day in one of my channels, Horus lifted me up and put me on another dimension and brought my physical body with me. So we said, right, okay, everything is being upgraded. All your body parts are together. There you go. And I was like, okay. Well, this is interesting, because prior to this, many videos I've spoken about, I spoke probably about a month ago about feeling that I was in a small wall that I couldn't push my hands out of it. And it was like, God, I've got to get off this dimension. And that is when Horus came in and said, well, this is what's going on. And he lifted us up, and he put us on the highest dimension. And then since then, I've been visited by him again and again and again. And he's just saying vision, vision, vision. He's also a shapeshifter. Horus has the powerful gift and ability, one of his superpowers, or one of his many superpowers, of being able to shift in energy. So he can go from hawk to falcon to physical form to pure energy. Now, he showed me in a channel yesterday that when we channel and we journey, okay, and we go beyond the physical, he's kind of out there because he's the god of the sky. And he was floating around and flying and going, this is where we need to go to. And I think this is another reason why, yeah, I've just felt the energy come in. I feel the energy saying yes. I think this is another reason why he's come in, to not just show us about visionary stuff, and not to show us about leadership and all of the balance and the harmony in the union. It's to show us to expand those wings now to go to infinite levels of everything, basically. And yesterday he came through and he met me in the stars. And that I've never met him in the stars, actually. I always go to a temple or something like that, which is an indication. If I met Horus in the stars, that means that we have shifted and we're up there. That's what he's showing us. So Horus, shapeshifter, we can do that. This is what he's saying. He says, he's like, you're infinite and you are shapeshifters as well. And you can move and play with your energy. This is true freedom, is it not? Knowing that you can travel to the other worlds and come back into the body, because we're multidimensional. That's what the message is, right? But he's also divine masculine, and he's the pure reflection of harmony and balance, because he is obviously the son of Osiris and Isis, who are twin flames. So that's the twin flame triad. See, there's a lot in this, see? Okay. But it's good news, guys, because we are really coming into that union now, which means the timelines of March being quite some people say it's going to be a bit of a doozy. Some people say it's like, whew, it's on in a good way. And I'm kind of a bit of both, I think, but I'm saying it's more on, so but that's down to us because, each and every one of us, because we're all having our own unique experiences with this. So I just want to put it out there. Like avoid kind of locking on going, well, they've said this and they said that. Take it all on, see what resonates, step back and tap into your own experience, because we're all in different stages of the game, because we're all unique soul designs and we're all doing things differently, which is exactly how it's supposed to be. So now I'm looking at Osiris. Okay, Osiris has been a god that I have always been aware of. And for me, he stood in silence in the corner and I've never really tapped into him. In fact, he kind of intimidates me a little bit, a lot like when I was started to connect with Sekhmet. And he has never really spoken to me. But today he came and he said, the reason I've not spoken is because you weren't ready. And I was like, what do you mean I wasn't ready? Because it all goes back to that union again. He says you weren't ready to face your masculine. And I know that when we look at the divine feminine, the goddess, it's the sexual energy, whether you're a man or a woman, it's the creative force and all that kind of thing. But you see, Osiris is very much that as well, that sexual energy, and in a way, without him, with Isis, it's a bit like a flat balloon. You know what I mean? So he's like, yeah, I need to come in and I'm part of this activating force, because the divine feminine activates the masculine. And then together they're a boom. And I've been absent of this powerful presence of the divine masculine within me. Obviously, I have it, in my physical life. I have very, very strong relationships like that. But within me, it's not popped off, and you might be the other way around, where you've had like the strong union within, but you haven't met your sacred other yet. This is what I'm saying. It's all different for each and every one of us, So anyway, Osiris came in and he did exactly what his son did, Horus. He took me up to the stars. He took me up to Orion. I received a transmission from him. He took me off to go meet his mom. His mom is Nut. And she's the goddess of the stars. Osiris and Isis's divine parents, and Set and Nephthys, of course, their divine parents was Geb, who is Father Earth, and Nut, who is the mother of the sky, the stars. And he went off and took me to go and see his mom. And she was like, there is much I need to share with you, but look up. She kept saying, look up. And so did he. Look up, look up. There is so much more. Look up at the stars. Now, not to get this twisted, that we're going to pop off the planet and go onto the stars. We are firmly anchored in the divine masculine. We're grounded now. Now we can look up at the stars. Before, we were too much in the stars and we weren't coming into land. This is a good thing, because now we've done all of these dark nights of the souls, clearing the physical body, emotional body. We're now grounded. Okay, we really are grounded. So now we can vibe in the most expansive way with Nut, with the stars, with the cosmos, because we're not going to get pulled off the planet and lose ourselves. So this is the divine balance. We have now anchored firmly in our physical, in the earth, in the ground. We are now understanding that we are here for an earthly human experience when we are tapped into the absolute infinity of our starseed selves, as above, so below. This is the principle of correspondence. As above, so below, so within, so without. So now we've this is what I'm talking, the union. We've gone all around the houses, lived in the stars, popping off the planet. Then we came out the stars and we were very much made to come into our physical, purging, feeling sick, lots of heavy stuff going on. Now we've done that. Now we're here and we can be there. So you see, we nailed it. We're doing it, So this is what he was saying. And I've written here, it's now time to join the party, because the divine feminine is pretty much getting to a happy space now, which means she's not cross at the divine masculine. The divine masculine now can come out of his wounded state, which is being a bully and too controlling, because everything is kind of like just whoosed and just chilled. And now we're coming into this oneness. So that is what's happening right now. Divine feminine meets the divine masculine within, and we are coming into that oneness and wholeness state. Now, people will say, oh, I'm a twin flame. I'm this, that, and that. We're all twin flames. All of us have a sacred other within us, right? But there was a front line of twin flames who chose to do the heavy lifting because it's what they did before. And it's just part of the job, I suppose. I was one of those people. And we're here to remind and help remember the twin flame frequency, which is your superpowers. That's your divine union. And once you are then that's when your power comes back online. So now I move into the Heka Codes, which is the 3-session offering that I give. And, I've spoken about it before. To bring this through when it was not aligned with where we were at would have been just useless, really. And it would have been just like blowing into the wind, it would have got lost. Because the Heka Codes is here to bring now, you have all that you are at your fingertips or access to. Then you start working with the Heka Codes. You are now ready to actually full on explode into your mission and purpose, your gifts and abilities. And now we can really create what we want to create. No skeletons in the closet, no nasties around the corner. You're good to go. And that is what the Heka Codes is all about. Bringing your whole being. Now you've got all your parts together, your whole being into activation, and get doing what you said to do, fulfilling the mission in this lifetime. So no more being scared, no more thinking that you're not abundantly supported, but there is something. You have to get your back off the wall, and you have to meet spirit halfway to be able to go to this next step. It's not going to come to you sitting in the back room of your house. This is where the trust factor comes in. You're good to go. You are. Stepping out, committing, spirit will meet you exactly in the same place. They will commit, you will commit, everything is fine. So if there's any remnants of that, any old memory of doubt, you've got to just transmute that and turn it into trust. And it's the same with the Tablets of Light tour. That is a portal that is open, very much open, 27th of April now. People are like lastminute.com in it right now. And they're really getting attracted to the portal, to the tour, because it's now time to go and collect your codes. It's no more dark nights of the souls, no more suffering involved now. It's now time to build and get busy, right? So that's what the tour's all about. But also as well, it's open every single year. And that is an indication of just where we're at now. We are conscious creators, and we're now in that timeline where we got to create. So that's why the Tablets of Light have dropped in now. That's why the Heka Codes have dropped in now. And also other offerings that people are giving similar to that. They're very different to the old teachings because we're in a different place. So this is the February. But we're only in the middle, really. We haven't even got to the middle. This is the February update, and it's only going to ramp and get better. So take a breath, take a beat. Celebrate you, celebrate that you are coming into union, if not already. And this is a beautiful thing. This is what we came here for. This is it. Peace.